Hi there and welcome back to The Single Cook. My name is Tiffany and I'm your host. Welcome back to my kitchen. Today we are doing another round 2 recipe. So yesterday I decided to make burgers and brats for lunch and dinner because I was really feeling it, but I am by myself. So I ended up making too many. I ended up making about 4 burgers and 4 brats, which doesn't sound like a whole lot, but when you're by yourself it can mean that you're eating them for days and you really don't want to. So I ended up having about 3 burgers left at the end, and I needed something to do with them. I didn't want to eat burgers for the next 3 days. So what I decided to do was make a burger burrito bowl today for dinner. So I'm going to be using some leftover burger with some other ingredients, including a boxed pantry item, to create my meal. So let's go over the ingredients that I have. Let me adjust my camera. So the ingredients that we first of all have our burgers. This is the kind of burger that I made where it's a handmade patty that I grilled in a cast iron pan. I've already taken one and chopped one up. So I have that. I have a little bit of taco seasoning. I have some jarred garlic that is already pre-minced so I don't have to do the work. We have some black beans, and I have just taken a can of black beans and rinsed them and put them in the container. We have a box of dirty rice that I have already prepared, and this is just the New Orleans style dirty rice from Aldi's, and I prepared it exactly like what was on the box, which is basically just water the rice mix and boil until it's ready to go. We have a bag of tortilla chips. Those are going to be for topping later. I have some white cheddar cheese that is already shredded. I have a little bit of lettuce that I have cut up, and I have 1 Roma tomato that I have already diced up. And then lastly, I have 2 packets of hot taco sauce from Jack in the Box. This came from my packet drawer. If you don't have a packet drawer, I highly recommend it. That way you can save all of those sauce and seasoning packets that you get from other places and use them in recipes like this where you just need a little bit, but you don't want to bust out a whole new jar for something, or you don't have to buy it if you already have the sauce packets. I use that for stuff like ketchup. I use it for a little bit of mustard. If I need just a tad bit of honey, that can work really well. So I'm a big fan of a packet seasoning drawer. So let's get into it. Okay, let's start with igniting my stove. You all know I have a janky stove, so I have to light it by hand. I am going to be using the same cast iron pan that I made the burgers in yesterday. So I'm going to let that heat up so that the fat can get back to being a liquid and no longer a semi-solid. Okay, and that has heated up. So now we're going to add our chopped up burger patty. And this was just a basic burger with hamburger meat, a little bit of Italian breadcrumbs, and an egg mixed together and then topped with salt and pepper. We're going to add about a tablespoon of the minced garlic or jarred garlic. I'm running out of this jar, so I'm going to kind of use the last dregs of that. And I'm going to add our black beans. And these were just canned black beans that have already been cooked. These were rinsed and then put in the container. I'm going to use about half of this container, but I'm going to do it in 2 stages because I decided I wanted a bit more. And this is really just to cook that through and warm those up. I'm also adding taco seasoning here. I'll end up adding about a packet's worth of taco seasoning, so about 2 to 3 tablespoons, because I like a lot of the seasoning. And most of our ingredients here are already cooked. So really the only thing that we are cooking is the garlic and then making the sauce for the taco seasoning. Everything else we're just kind of warming back through. And then the fat that was left in the pan is going to add a little bit of flavor as well, especially to those beans. They will soak that flavor up. So here's where I decide that I need a bit more taco seasoning and a bit more of the beans. And this will end up making 2 servings worth. So I will have the ability to have this again for lunch another day or dinner another day. We're going to keep moving that around the pan until everything is warmed through and all of that seasoning has made its way all the way around to everything. And you can absolutely add other things in here too, like white onion, but let's get to assemble. So assembling our bowl, we're going to start with our dirty rice mix. I'm going to use about a cup's worth. And this is pre-seasoned rice that has a little bit of things like bell pepper and tomato and paprika and a couple of seasonings in it already. That just gives you a more flavorful rice. So that is our base. Then we're going to add about half of that meat and bean mixture, just straight out of the hot pan. Bit more. Okay. Next, we're going to be adding our chopped tomatoes, and I absolutely could have made this look better, but I was getting hungry, so everything just kind of got dumped in. So we have our chopped Roma tomato. And then we've got some romaine lettuce that has also been chopped. This is probably about 1 leaf's worth. We have our white cheddar cheese, and this has been shredded up. That pause was where I realized that I could have made this look prettier. And then we have our hot taco sauce packets from our packet drawer. Again, these are from Jack in the Box, but you can absolutely use any kind of hot sauce you prefer, or if you don't want hot sauce at all, you could also use salsa or sriracha. There are a ton of different options for you. I'm going to start with just 1 packet, and then I'll see if I want to add a second one later on. So you can absolutely just eat this the way it is. I'm going to top mine with some tortilla chips. These are the bite-sized ones. You could absolutely use this as a dip as well and just eat it with the tortilla chips, or you can crunch it all up like a taco salad. It is completely up to you. And that is our round 2 burger bowl. And that is our burger burrito bowl. So we used leftover ingredients like the hamburger patty that we made the other day. And that was just a basic burger patty. Like it was ground hamburger, a little bit of breadcrumbs, an egg, and then it was formed into a patty and topped with salt and pepper. So nothing crazy, just a real basic burger patty that had been grilled in a cast iron pan and a little bit of bacon fat. So we took that, we crumbled it up, and reheated it in the same cast iron pan. I hadn't even cleaned it yet, just to give it a little bit extra flavor, along with some minced garlic and the black beans. I decided I wanted mine warm rather than cold, and I decided I wanted to get them a little bit more seasoned, so I added that taco seasoning as well, straight to the pan so everything got coated. And then we added a little bit of chopped lettuce, a little bit of chopped tomato, some white cheddar cheese that was already shredded. And then we topped it with our hot taco sauce and a little bit of crumbled tortilla chips. Our base was just a mix of that dirty rice mix from Aldi's. And that was just prepared straight out of the box. So it was just water with that rice mix. You can absolutely use any other kind of rice mix you'd like. If you've got brown rice or white rice, if you have day old, if you have fresh that you've just made, it is completely up to you. I like the dirty rice. It gives it a little bit more flavor. It's got a little bit of spice into it. I didn't have any fresh jalapenos, but you could absolutely top it with anything that you would put on a burrito. If you have avocado, that would be great in this. Sour cream, black olives, salsa, queso, anything that you can think to put on a burrito that you enjoy, you can absolutely do that. You can do white onions and all of that stuff. It is completely up to you, completely customizable. This is just the one with the ingredients I had available in my house and what I enjoy eating. So feel free to make the recipe your own, and thank you for watching. Thank you for liking and subscribing, and come back for more round 2 recipes.